What's going on, everyone? RedWolfVion here with another Gundam Battle Operation 2 suit overview video. Today we'll be looking at the GP02 MLRS. This is a 550 support that can sortie on ground as well as space, and it is really dope. Let's jump into the kit. Off the bat, you see it does, the main weapon here is the GP02A MLRS. It is a rocket launcher with 6 bullets or missiles or rockets before reloading. The range is really good. It's 550 meters. Cooldown time between each shot is 4 seconds. And reload isn't too bad, being about 12 seconds. Then you have your high output beam saber. You have your head mounted Vulcan Type 2. 60 of these before you have to reload, and the power of 90 and 200 meters. You guys, I'm going to say right now, when it comes to GP02, the Vulcans are where it's at. Regardless of what's going on between your main weapon and your other sub weapons, you will be using your Vulcans. So do not forget these. Utilize these. They're really good. Then you have your vertical launching MLRS, which has a 550 meters. Again, 6 before you have to reload, and attack power of 1600. The reload is relatively long cooldown time, but this is a very strong tool to destroy enemies. It's very fun to use, and it's very satisfying. And last but not least, you have this double L, this extra large shield, radiator shield with 20k HP. That is a lot of HP for a shield, okay? So utilize that, make sure that gets hit before anything, but that shield definitely helps you get some nice defense. You see, looking at the normal defense without my stats here, the melee resistance is rather low, the beam resistance is pretty high, and the ballistic resistance is also pretty good. So only thing support issue you will have is getting up close and personal might not work out for you, so try not to do that. Looking at the skills here, you have high performance radar and high performance scope, both at level 3. You have frontline support system that is really dope. I like this because it cuts down the respawn time by 10%. Really dope. Observational data link, of course, you know that is to be expected to see HP of enemies. You have precision shelling. Now this is really cool. If you're standing still in space or if you're crouching, you get a plus 5% to your firing modifier. It's really useful, and you'll find yourself doing that a lot. You have high spec MBAC. Really cool. You get a little more turning speed here. And high performance aerospace gimbal. This is more for when you're fighting in space, but all the way an older kit, I'll say that much. It's really fun. Looking at builds here, this particular build, you see I have some quick loader for my rockets to quickly reload. I have one minus 6.4 seconds and one minus 1.9 seconds here. You're going to think that that's a long time, but with this suit, you're going to understand real quickly. Between that, even your Vulcan's giving you another second. Every second counts. Followed by that, I have a little bit of range strength here. You got a plus 18 because I'm using enhanced firing program, level 4 and level 3. And I want to give a little bit more thruster here, which is more than enough, where you have the following things for defense. I have anti-melee, anti-beam, and more anti-beam here, just because at this cost you'll run into more suits that have beam like weapons, but you can always swap the anti-beam for ballistics, and even just swap the anti-melee out, but I wouldn't get rid of the anti-melee. The next build here is purely defense based. You have, I see here, there's anti-ballistic armor, anti-beam armor, anti-melee armor, some HP, more HP, a little bit of thruster control here, thruster control system level 1, and just one enhanced firing program. Looking at this is an easy way of saying, hey look, I expect I'm gonna get bum rushed a lot, or I'll be targeted a lot. I just want to say I have a little bit more. I can take this L in my melee strength, and you see my melee resistance is 17. Although that isn't that much, it still helps a little bit, but my ballistic and beam resistance is that much higher up if I have a fear that they're going to try to also counter snipe me or something of the sort. But again, these are different builds that you can try on your own. You necessarily don't have to do that, but even in space here, I have a more aggressive build with a little bit of melee resistance. I, however, I decided to gotta go ham, okay? We have enhanced firing program level 5, 4, and 3, giving us a plus 31 to our range. We have the thrust control system level 2 to give us a little more thrust in space, and back armor, so we take a little bit less damage from our back while in space, because if your back gets destroyed in space, you can't really boost around and you're a sitting duck. The special back armor does fit nicely there, and you see we have a quick loader here to kind of give us a bump in reload speed. Every second counts. You'll learn this sooner than later, I hope, but again, these are just some builds that I currently use on MLRS level 1. Definitely experiment with some stuff, but I would say stay around the realm with your ranged attack, your thruster, and your reload. If you want to get some defense, go for it, sure, but I think that's where I would focus this at. Alright, jumping into combat here, you already can tell that this thing is floaty. I like the movement of this suit. Don't ask why. Although it seems floaty, it's very precise. You slide a little bit going whatever which way. But you have your rocket launcher as your main. You go ahead and shoot that. You get 2 shots per. So essentially you can shoot it 3 times. And then you'll have to reload. And it does a nice amount of damage. And you see here that you actually stagger them on hit. May it be the first or second hit, one rocket launcher will stagger them. You have your beam saber, which is you have your neutral slash. You have, of course, your left and right slash, which isn't anything to brag home about. And then you have your downswing. Your downswing is a tackle into a downswing, which is actually really useful. It's really cool if you get opportunity to do it, because if they get hit by the tackle, you're almost guaranteed to pop them with your sword. Granted, you have the right angle for it, because the animation will force them to start falling before you can swing your saber. Like I said before, your Vulcan gun is very strong. It's very, very, very useful. You'll find yourself using it in between reloads, or when you're chasing enemies down, or while they're chasing you. Just make sure to use it. And don't forget, you can move while actually using your Vulcans. You can dash, you can boost, you can do everything doing your Vulcans. So don't forget about that, and keep those bad boys on cooldown if you ever have to use them or finish the enemy off, or ones that get too close for comfort. Alright, so the next weapon here, the vertical rocket launchers, are really dope. They're very strong, but you need to realize that because you shoot these things, you shoot 3 at a time, and they have a huge explosion radius, right? They deal a ton of damage, but you do stop to fire them. Also, since they launch up into the air before you fire them, you absolutely make sure you're not shooting them under, like in a tunnel that doesn't have enough space for the launcher to actually send them into the air, because they will hit the ceiling. Okay, they'll hit the ceiling, they'll hit walls, so be very mindful of that. In some cases, the neat thing you could do is you could use your rocket launcher, you can swap in between the two, and you can just hopefully get some confirms off of that. But as you saw in the video here, that I actually overshot my verticals, so be very mindful when you shoot them. They do go up and they have an arc. They have a very good range, and you can actually fan your shots out if once you hit your fire button, you quickly turn your view maybe to the left or to the right. If you move your reticle, you're going to shoot in that direction. Or you can just, of course, keep it highlight on your enemy and shoot straight ahead. That also goes for the rocket launcher, for the vertical launcher. Sometimes, if I'm trying to attack multiple enemies far away, you'll see me kind of just like fan an area just to see it. I know I'm going to hit somebody because they're moving in this direction. So it's either like a line of rockets that land down, and you can usually hit people pretty good with those. But the neat thing about this suit is when you do that and you swap to your other rockets, you'll have enough time to kind of follow up and punish people. So with that 550 meter as a range, utilize that with this suit. Like your typical support suit, I would not suggest you trying to do any melee combos with this bad boy, but you can also try doing some ranged combo. This suit has some dope potential for some ranged combos here, although you can't, stun lock them or anything like that. You can, however, shoot your verticals and swap to your primary very quickly to kind of capitalize off that, and you see you're going to be able to land some hits, may it be on them, their persons, or the shield. But your vertical takes a long time to recharge and reload, so aim and time your shots wisely. I will say this suit does take practice to get used to the vertical launcher, but after so long, you'll get used to how to arc them and how to lower it, because sometimes when you're looking lower on the ground when you're shooting these, of course, to the reticle, you'll see that they still come out a little bit further than what it looks like. So sometimes I aim for the ground on the suit that I'm targeting, get ready to swap my primary, and then you can just follow up with your regular launcher. It's very satisfying. It does a lot of damage. Again, if you're getting chased by raid, pop those Vulcans as well as using your regular launcher, because it does hurt and it stuns on stick long range. It definitely takes practice, but you guys will enjoy this suit. I really love it. Be careful, because if you shoot after your verticals too early, too soon, like you saw in the video and straight, you could hit someone's shield. So it might be best if you kind of rotate around before you do all that. And that's pretty much it. I just want to do a nice little overview for any of you guys who are interested in the GP02 support suit. If you haven't seen the guide for the raid version variant of this, check that out. You will not be disappointed. This suit as a whole is awesome. If you pull it or manage to use this suit, definitely get into it. It's a fun suit. It is one of the older suits. The kit isn't always the best compared to newer suits, but it's still really good. I could still see myself using it on maps like Impact Site or the open tropical desert. But be very careful if you're using it in space on enclosed maps, because your vertical missiles will not hit if you're too high to the ceiling and whatnot. That's all I got for you guys. Take this knowledge and go forth into the battlefield. But until next time, everyone, stay out of trouble. If I was wrong about something, let me know. If I missed or forgot something, let me know. But until then, nothing but love. Peace.